Every morning is a fresh page in the book of your life. The way you begin it sets the rhythm of your entire day. If you want success, energy, and clarity, you cannot leave your mornings to chance. You must create a ritual of telling yourself the right things. Let me share with you 12 powerful reminders that can completely change the way you live and lead. First, say to yourself, I am alive and this day is a gift. Gratitude is the seed of energy. When you begin with appreciation, even the smallest task becomes meaningful. Second, tell yourself, I have control over my attitude today. Problems will come, challenges will rise, but no one can steal your attitude unless you hand it to them. Third, whisper, I will focus on progress, not perfection. Waiting for perfect conditions is an excuse. Move forward, even if it's one small step, and perfection will take care of itself. Fourth, remind yourself I am capable of learning anything I put my mind to. The world changes fast. The ones who survive are not the strongest, but the ones who keep learning. Fifth, tell yourself I will turn failure into feedback. Every mistake is a tuition fee you pay for growth. Don't waste it. Learn from it. Sixth, say, I will do what I can with what I have where I am. Stop wishing for more resources. Creativity grows best when resources are limited. Seventh, tell yourself, I will not compare my journey to anyone else's. Comparison is poison. Your only competitor is who you were yesterday. Eighth, declare, I will focus on solutions, not complaints. Complaining is free, but it costs you everything. Solutions build leaders. Ninth, remind yourself, I will take care of my health because it is my greatest wealth. Without health, success becomes meaningless. 10th, say, I will invest in relationships because people are the true capital of life. The stronger your relationships, the stronger your future. 11th, tell yourself, I will face fear with action. Fear only grows when you run. It dies when you move forward. And 12th, end with this. I will make today count because tomorrow is not promised. Too many people waste today dreaming of tomorrow. Use today, and tomorrow will take care of itself. If you start every morning with these 12 affirmations, you will not only transform your days, you will transform your destiny. Success is not found in extraordinary secrets, but in ordinary truths, repeated every single morning with discipline and belief. When you wake up in the morning, the very first thought that enters your mind has the power to shape the entire direction of your day. If the first thing you say to yourself is a complaint, your energy will be drained before the day even begins. But if you tell yourself that being alive is a gift, everything changes. Gratitude is not just about saying thank you. It is about recognizing that life itself is a privilege that millions of people did not get today. When you open your eyes and take that first breath in the morning, you are holding an opportunity that someone else wished for, but could not have. This awareness shifts your perspective. You stop thinking about what you lack, and you start appreciating what you already have. And this shift is powerful because a grateful heart naturally attracts more reasons to be grateful. Gratitude energizes you because it removes the weight of negativity. When you are thankful for life, even ordinary things appear extraordinary. The sunlight through your window, the sound of birds, the comfort of your bed, or the smile of a loved one, all of these become treasures instead of things you take for granted. And when you begin your day with such recognition, you build emotional strength that helps you face difficulties. No matter how tough the day becomes, you carry inside you a reminder that life itself is bigger than any problem. Gratitude grounds you and makes you resilient. Think about people who live their lives chasing material possessions without ever appreciating the present moment. They might have everything but still feel empty because they start each day focusing on what they lack rather than what they already possess. On the other hand, people who cultivate gratitude may have very little, but they carry a joy and peace that cannot be purchased. Gratitude changes the quality of your inner world, and when your inner world is positive, your outer world begins to reflect that positivity. When you wake up and tell yourself, this day is a gift, you automatically unlock motivation. Instead of dragging yourself into the morning routine, you step into it with a sense of purpose. You realize you are not entitled to another day. It has been granted to you. And if it has been granted, then it must be used with intention, with love, and with effort. This mindset does not just make you more productive. It makes you more alive in every single moment. Every new morning begins with a choice of how you frame your thoughts. And the first words you say to yourself can decide the quality of the entire day ahead. When you wake up and remind yourself that simply being alive is a gift, your mind immediately shifts from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude is not about ignoring problems. It is about understanding that the chance to even face those problems is a privilege denied to many. Every breath you take in the morning is proof that life has given you another opportunity, another chance to try again, another moment to become better than yesterday. When you carry this awareness, the burdens of stress and dissatisfaction begin to feel lighter, because you know that no matter how difficult life is, you still have life itself. And that is the greatest foundation for everything else you wish to achieve. Gratitude has a way of magnifying even the smallest details of your existence. The warm sunlight peeking through the curtains, the laughter of a child, the quiet sound of the early morning breeze, or even the taste of your first sip of water become sources of joy. These little things are often overlooked, but when you begin your day reminding yourself that being alive is a blessing, these details suddenly stand out as extraordinary gifts. This state of appreciation creates an invisible energy that flows into your work, your relationships, and your health. You begin to treat people with more kindness. You approach your tasks with more patience, and you face difficulties with a calmer heart. So many people open their eyes in the morning and immediately think about their bills, their deadlines, or their struggles. They let the weight of problems set the tone for the day. But those who start with gratitude gain a strength that is not easily shaken. They look at the same problems and say, I am thankful I am alive to deal with this. That perspective makes all the difference, because instead of drowning in complaints, they rise above with resilience. Gratitude transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary experiences. And when practiced daily, it becomes a shield that protects you from negativity. By telling yourself each morning that life itself is a gift, you create a mindset that fuels motivation, joy, and purpose, giving you the power to live each day as if it truly matters when you wake up in the morning and remind yourself that you have control over your attitude. Today, you are essentially taking charge of the most powerful tool you possess. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how carefully you plan your day, challenges will arrive uninvited. You cannot control the traffic on the road, the unexpected delays, the words people may speak, or the disappointments that may arise, but you can always control how you respond to them. Your attitude is your inner steering wheel, and once you take hold of it, no external storm can throw you off course. When you choose positivity over frustration, patience over anger, and focus over distraction, you create a shield of strength around yourself that allows you to move forward regardless of obstacles. So often, people allow small events to ruin their entire day. A single harsh comment, a minor setback, or a failed plan is enough to pull them into negativity because they forget that they are the only ones who decide how much power those things should hold. When you remind yourself in the morning that no one can control your attitude unless you hand it over, you take back the authority that so many people give away freely. A positive attitude does not mean you ignore problems. It means you face them with clarity and determination rather than panic and despair. It is about training your mind to see opportunities where others only see barriers. This choice of attitude is what separates leaders from followers, creators from complainers, and achievers from quitters. Two people can face the exact same challenge, yet one will crumble under pressure while the other will rise stronger. The difference is never in the situation. It is always in the attitude. When you start your day telling yourself that your attitude belongs to you and no one else, you build the mental discipline to handle negativity without being consumed by it. Your attitude is contagious. The way you carry yourself affects how others behave around you. A smile, a calm response. A patient tone can transform not only your mood, but also the mood of those you interact with. By controlling your attitude, you do more than manage your own emotions. You influence your environment in a way that inspires respect, trust, and cooperation, turning every challenge into an opportunity for growth. When you begin your day by telling yourself that you will focus on progress, not perfection, you free yourself from one of the biggest traps that hold people back in life. Perfection sounds noble, but in reality, it often becomes a silent enemy that prevents you from starting at all. So many people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect resources, the perfect clarity before taking action, and in that waiting, they lose precious time. The truth is, perfection is an illusion, a moving target that keeps shifting as you grow. If you aim for progress instead, you give yourself permission to begin, to take one step at a time, and to learn along the way. Progress compounds like interest. Small improvements made daily eventually lead to extraordinary outcomes, while waiting for perfection leaves you stuck in the same place. Think of how a child learns to walk. They do not wait until their balance is flawless before taking the first step. They wobble, they fall, they get up, and each time they improve just a little. Eventually, the small, imperfect steps turn into confident strides. This is the essence of progress. In the same way, your work, your goals, your dreams do not require perfection on day one. They require movement. Even the smallest step forward is better than standing still and imagining how perfect things could be. By embracing progress, you silence the fear of failure because you know that every attempt, whether successful or not, is still movement in the right direction. When you commit to progress, you also become kinder to yourself. Instead of criticizing your flaws and failures, you begin to celebrate your growth. You recognize that effort itself is a victory. That improvement is the true sign of success. This mindset builds resilience because you stop expecting flawless results and start valuing the process. And in that process, you discover creativity, flexibility, and strength you never knew you had. The greatest achievements in history were not created in one perfect stroke, but through countless revisions, mistakes, and attempts. Behind every masterpiece is a long journey of progress, often hidden from view. When you remind yourself each morning that progress is more important than perfection, you set yourself free from unnecessary pressure and allow yourself to grow naturally, steadily, and effectively, turning ordinary efforts into extraordinary results. When you remind yourself in the morning that you are capable of learning anything you put your mind to, you awaken the most important truth about human potential. Knowledge is not fixed, intelligence is not limited, and skills are not reserved only for a select few. The human brain is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. Every expert you admire once stood where you are now, a beginner with no special advantage except the willingness to learn. Too often, people limit themselves by saying, "I'm not good at this," or "I can't do that." Forgetting that ability is not something you are born with. It is something you build through effort, practice, and consistency. By telling yourself every morning that you can learn, you remove invisible barriers and open the door to endless possibilities. The world is changing faster than ever before, and the greatest skill you can develop is the ability to keep learning. Industries evolve, technologies shift, opportunities appear and disappear. But the people who continue to learn never fall behind. They adapt, they grow, and they create new value in any situation. Learning is no longer limited to classrooms or formal education. It is in books, conversations, experiences, failures, and even mistakes. When you commit to being a learner, you turn every challenge into a lesson and every setback into training for a stronger future. Learning also keeps you humble. No matter how successful you become, reminding yourself that you still have more to discover keeps you grounded and curious. Curiosity is the engine of growth, and those who remain curious never run out of opportunities. The moment you believe you know everything is the moment you stop growing. On the other hand, when you approach life with the mindset that you can learn anything, you carry confidence without arrogance. And that balance attracts respect and trust from others. This mindset also builds resilience because learning transforms fear into courage. Many people avoid new things because they are afraid of failing. But a learner does not fear failure. They see it as part of the process. With every attempt, with every mistake, knowledge deepens and skill sharpens. When you tell yourself each morning that you are capable of learning anything, you prepare your mind to embrace challenges instead of avoiding them. And that preparation becomes the foundation for growth, success, and transformation. When you tell yourself in the morning that you will turn failure into feedback, you adopt one of the most powerful mindsets for growth and success. Failure is often seen as an enemy, something to be feared, avoided, or hidden, but in reality, it is one of the greatest teachers life has to offer. Every mistake contains valuable lessons wrapped inside discomfort. The problem is not failure itself, but the way people interpret it. Some let failure break them, while others use it as fuel to rise higher. By deciding at the start of your day that any failure you face will be turned into feedback, you create a safety net for yourself, because you know that even if you stumble, you will not stay down. Instead of being ashamed of failure, you begin to see it as evidence that you are trying, moving, and stretching beyond your comfort zone. Feedback is information, and failure provides the most honest feedback you will ever get. It tells you what doesn't work, which path is unproductive, and where your weaknesses lie. Without this knowledge, improvement would be impossible. Imagine if a child stopped trying to walk after falling once or twice. They would never discover the joy of running. Falling is not the end. It is the guide that points toward balance. In the same way, failure in your work, studies, or personal life is simply a signal guiding you to adjust, improve, and try again with greater wisdom. The fear of failure is often more damaging than failure itself because it keeps people from taking the first step. They imagine embarrassment, criticism, or pain, and so they never attempt anything meaningful. But when you embrace failure as feedback, fear loses its grip on you. You become willing to act, knowing that whether you succeed or fail, you will grow. This attitude builds resilience, and resilience is what separates those who quit early from those who eventually succeed. History is full of stories of people who failed countless times before achieving greatness. Their success was not the absence of failure, but the mastery of learning from it. When you start your morning with the determination to turn failure into feedback, you give yourself the courage to take bold steps, to experiment, and to keep moving forward with confidence, knowing that every experience, whether good or bad, is preparing you for something greater. When you remind yourself in the morning that you will do what you can with what you have, where you are, you release yourself from the trap of waiting for perfect conditions. Too many dreams are delayed, not because of a lack of talent, but because people convince themselves they need more time, more money, or more resources before they can begin. The truth is that no one ever starts with everything they need. Every great achievement began with someone making the most of limited tools, limited knowledge, and limited circumstances. What sets achievers apart is not what they had at the start, but how they used what was already in their hands. By adopting this mindset, you shift from complaining about what you lack to creating with what you have, and in that shift lies real progress. Doing what you can also teaches the power of small steps. You may not be able to build an empire in a day, but you can send an email, read a page, make a call, or take a single step that moves you closer to your goal. These small actions, repeated consistently, compound into massive results over time. Too often people underestimate the value of small beginnings, forgetting that even the tallest tree was once a seed. By focusing on what you can do today, you keep momentum alive, and momentum is far more valuable than waiting endlessly for the perfect opportunity. This approach also fuels creativity. When resources are limited, you are forced to think differently, to innovate, and to stretch your imagination. History shows that some of the greatest inventions and businesses were born not in abundance, but in scarcity. Pressure makes people resourceful, And resourcefulness builds strength that money or privilege alone cannot provide. By telling yourself that you will do what you can with what you have, you train your mind to see possibilities where others see limitations. Most importantly, this mindset grounds you in the present moment. It keeps you from wasting time comparing yourself to others who may have more, or waiting for a future that may never arrive. It reminds you that progress is possible right now, not someday. Each morning, when you make this commitment, you empower yourself to take action, however small. And each action builds confidence, resilience, and results that eventually open the doors to greater opportunities. When you wake up and tell yourself that you will not compare your journey to anyone else's, you are protecting your peace and preserving your energy for what truly matters. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to lose confidence, because no matter how much you achieve, there will always be someone ahead of you. The danger is that by focusing on their pace, their success, or their possessions, you blind yourself to your own progress. Life is not a race where everyone starts from the same line with the same resources. It is a personal journey shaped by your unique background, challenges, and strengths. When you choose to measure yourself only against who you were yesterday, you free yourself from unnecessary pressure and gain the clarity to focus on real growth. Comparison creates jealousy, and jealousy is a poison that eats away at joy. You could be living a beautiful life with many blessings, but the moment you look at someone else and believe they have more, what you have suddenly feels small. This mindset breeds dissatisfaction and robs you of gratitude. But when you remind yourself every morning that your journey is yours alone, you begin to celebrate your achievements no matter how small they seem compared to others. Progress becomes personal, and each step forward becomes meaningful because it reflects your effort and resilience, not anyone else's. By avoiding comparison, you also preserve your mental energy. Constantly measuring yourself against others is exhausting, and that energy could instead be invested into building your skills, nurturing your relationships, or pursuing your goals. The time you spend scrolling through someone else's highlight reel could be the time you use to create your own. Everyone shows the polished version of their life, not the struggles behind it, so comparing yourself to that illusion is unfair from the start. This mindset builds authenticity. When you stop chasing someone else's path, you begin to walk confidently on your own. You are no longer distracted by the noise of competition, and this allows you to discover what truly fulfills you. Each morning, when you remind yourself not to compare, you strengthen your ability to appreciate your own progress, to honor your own pace, and to focus on the unique path that only you can walk. When you tell yourself each morning that you will focus on solutions, not complaints, you decide to place your energy where it creates value instead of where it gets wasted. Complaining is easy. It requires no effort, no creativity, and no courage. Anyone can point out what is wrong, but very few people are willing to step forward and work on how to make it right. Complaining gives a temporary sense of release, but it does not change reality. It only deepens frustration and spreads negativity. On the other hand, focusing on solutions transforms the way you see challenges. Instead of viewing problems as barriers, you begin to see them as opportunities to test your skills, strengthen your mind, and innovate in ways you never considered before. Every situation in life comes with two doors. One leads to complaints and stagnation. The other leads to action and growth. The difference lies in perspective. If you spend your energy complaining about how difficult things are, that energy is gone and you have nothing left for improvement. But if you use that same energy to ask yourself, what can I do about this? You unlock creativity and resilience. Problems are often not as big as they seem, but complaining magnifies them while solutions shrink them. By focusing on solutions, you train your brain to stay calm under pressure, to think logically, and to respond productively instead of emotionally. This mindset also influences the people around you. No one enjoys the company of chronic complainers because negativity drains the spirit. But when you are the person who looks for solutions, you naturally attract respect and trust. People start seeing you as a leader, someone they can rely on when difficulties arise. Leaders are not those who avoid problems, but those who face them with a solution-driven mindset. Each morning, when you remind yourself to focus on solutions, you prepare yourself to handle challenges in a way that inspires confidence in yourself and others. Focusing on solutions also builds momentum. Complaints keep you stuck in the same place, but solutions move you forward, even if slowly. With every step you take towards solving a problem, you gain experience, strength, and confidence. Over time, this habit shapes your identity as someone who does not get defeated by challenges, but instead grows stronger because of them. When you remind yourself in the morning that you will take care of your health, because it is your greatest wealth, you are acknowledging a truth that many people ignore until it is too late. Success, money, recognition, and achievements lose their meaning if your body and mind are too weak to enjoy them. Health is the foundation on which everything else is built. And without it, even the smallest tasks can feel overwhelming. Too often, people sacrifice sleep, skip meals, ignore exercise, and push their limits in the pursuit of success, only to realize later that they traded away the very strength they needed to sustain their achievements. By making health a priority every morning, you ensure that your journey toward your goals is not just fast, but also sustainable. Taking care of your health does not mean extreme measures. It means consistency in small habits. Drinking enough water, eating balanced meals, exercising regularly, and sleeping well are not luxuries. They are necessities. Just as a car cannot run without fuel and maintenance, your body cannot perform without nourishment and rest. When you begin your day with the intention of protecting your health, you naturally make better choices throughout the day. Choices that strengthen your energy, sharpen your focus, and stabilize your emotions. A healthy body fuels a healthy mind, and a healthy mind makes better decisions, creating a cycle of growth and balance. Your health is also an investment, one that pays you back every single day. The energy you gain from a strong body allows you to work harder, dream bigger, and connect more deeply with the people around you. Good health gives you confidence, not just in how you look, but in how you feel, because nothing is more empowering than having the strength to handle both physical and mental challenges. It allows you to show up fully in your work, in your relationships, and in your personal growth. Neglecting health, on the other hand, eventually catches up with everyone no matter how successful they appear on the outside, by reminding yourself each morning that health is your greatest wealth. You make a promise to protect the one thing that makes all other success possible. This daily commitment keeps you disciplined, balanced, and ready to face life with vitality and strength. When you begin your morning by telling yourself that you will invest in relationships because people are the true capital of life, you shift your focus from short-term gains to long-term value. Success is never built in isolation. Behind every achievement stands a network of people who provided guidance, support, opportunities, or even challenges that shaped growth. Too often, people chase money, status, or recognition while neglecting the relationships that could have made their journey easier and more meaningful. Wealth and possessions can disappear, but genuine relationships remain as a foundation you can lean on in both good times and bad. By valuing people above things, you ensure that your success is not only sustainable, but also fulfilling. Investing in relationships does not mean using people for your benefit. It means genuinely caring, listening, and contributing to their growth as well. A kind word, a moment of patience, or an act of help can plant seeds of trust that grow stronger with time. When you nurture relationships with sincerity, you build bonds that are not easily broken. These bonds become a source of encouragement during your struggles and a source of joy during your victories. Every morning, when you remind yourself to invest in people, you prepare to act with empathy, generosity, and respect in every interaction you face throughout the day. Strong relationships also expand your perspective. By connecting with others, you gain access to experiences, knowledge, and wisdom that you would never discover on your own. Every person you meet carries a unique story, and by engaging with them, you enrich your understanding of the world. This makes you not only more successful, but also more human. People who isolate themselves in the pursuit of personal goals may achieve something externally, but they often feel empty inside because real fulfillment comes from meaningful connections. At the core of it, people are your greatest asset. A supportive friend, a reliable colleague, a loving family member, or a wise mentor can do more for your growth than money or power ever could. Each morning, when you decide to invest in relationships, you strengthen the foundation of your future. You create a circle of trust, loyalty, and shared success. And within that circle, you find the resilience to face challenges and the joy to celebrate victories together when you tell yourself in the morning that you will face fear with action. You are choosing courage over hesitation. Fear is a natural emotion, but it becomes destructive when it paralyzes you into inaction. Most of the time, fear is not about real danger, but about imagined outcomes. What if you fail? What if people laugh? What if you are not good enough? These questions grow louder the longer you wait, and in that waiting, fear multiplies. But the moment you act, even with a small step, the grip of fear begins to weaken. Action has a way of exposing fear for what it truly is, a shadow that disappears once you shine light on it. Every morning, when you commit to facing fear with action, you remind yourself that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite it. Fear often disguises itself as caution, making you believe you should wait for a better time or for more preparation. But the truth is, no amount of preparation can erase fear completely. And waiting only allows opportunities to slip away. By acting while afraid, you train your mind and body to grow stronger with every challenge. The first step may feel heavy, the second step uncertain, but with each action, confidence builds. Slowly, what once seemed terrifying becomes manageable, and what was once unthinkable becomes part of your normal capacity. This mindset also prevents regret. Many people look back on their lives and realize that the biggest pain was not the failures they experienced, but the chances they never took because of fear. Fear left them standing at the edge while life moved on without them. But when you choose to take action, you protect yourself from that regret. Even if the outcome is not perfect, you gain experience, lessons, and growth that make you better prepared for the next opportunity. Facing fear with action also inspires others. People admire those who dare to step forward because courage is contagious. When you take action despite fear, you give permission to those around you to do the same. Each morning, when you remind yourself of this principle, you strengthen your resolve to act boldly, to silence doubts, and to keep moving forward in the direction of your goals. When you wake up and remind yourself that you will make today count because tomorrow is not promised, you anchor yourself in the reality of life's fragility. Too often, people live as if they have unlimited time, postponing their dreams, delaying their words of love, and pushing aside the actions that matter most. They say they will start tomorrow or next week, or when the conditions are better, forgetting that tomorrow is never guaranteed. By telling yourself each morning that today must count, you bring urgency and clarity to your actions. You stop wasting time on things that do not matter, and you start investing your energy in the tasks, relationships, and goals that truly shape your life. Making today count means being fully present in every moment. It is about giving your best at work instead of dragging yourself through it. About listening attentively when someone speaks instead of being distracted. About showing gratitude for the blessings you have instead of overlooking them. When you treat each day as precious, you begin to value even the smallest experiences. A conversation with a loved one, a step toward your dream, a simple act of kindness. All of these become meaningful because you recognize they might not come again. This mindset also eliminates procrastination. The habit of delaying is fueled by the belief that there will always be more time. But when you accept that time is finite, you stop waiting for the perfect moment and act with the resources you have. You write the page, make the call, start the project, or express the feeling because you know the chance to do so may not return. Each completed action adds to a life lived fully rather than a life wasted in hesitation. Living with the intention to make today count also brings peace. Instead of being haunted by regrets of yesterday or anxieties of tomorrow, you focus on what is within your control now. You realize that the power to shape your future lies in how you use the present moment. Each morning, when you affirm this thought, you are reminded that life is not measured by how many days you live, but by how much life you put into each day. And that awareness drives you to give today your very best. Every morning is a new beginning, and the words you speak to yourself become the blueprint for your day. If you start with gratitude, choose the right attitude, focus on progress, embrace learning, turn failure into feedback, make use of what you already have, Avoid comparisons, search for solutions, protect your health, invest in relationships, face fear with action, and make each day count. You set yourself on a path where success becomes a natural outcome. These are not complicated secrets. They are simple truths that, when practiced daily, shape your character, your choices, and ultimately your destiny. The real power lies not in knowing these reminders, but in living them every single morning. Because how you begin your day determines how you build your life